Folks, it is time for our main event of the evening, an intra-state battle in the super middleweight division between the Pride of Providence, Peter Manfredo Jr. and Rich Gingras, both alum of the Contender TV series. Peter Manfredo Jr. also noted for being a two-time former world title challenger. For the official introductions, we won't waste any time. Here's Rick Provost.
The time for talk has ended. The time for fighting is about to begin. Let's meet the combatants. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds in the super middleweight division, and it is the Gammons Prudential Realty bout. First up, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in 168 pounds, in the Tiger print trunks, fighting in honor of Gary Tiger Boletto. He comes in with a professional record of 39 wins and 7 losses, with 20 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a former NABF super middleweight, NABO light middleweight, and former NABF middleweight champion of the world. Please join me in welcoming from Providence, the Pride of Providence, Peter Manfredo Jr. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, in the dark black trunks. He weighed in at 169 pounds, professional record of 13 wins, 3 losses and 1 draw, with 8 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He is from right here in the town of Lincoln, Rhode Island. Please welcome Rich Gingras. Our referee in charge, right here at the bell, is Joey Lupino. Here he is for instructions.
Going 10 rounds, right? Keep it clean. Good luck. God bless, buddy.
10 rounds in the super middleweight division.
10 rounds of boxing. The Pride of Providence, Peter Manfredo, takes on Rich Gingras, who is now a resident of Lincoln, Rhode Island, sort of a resident of New England. Made a name for himself initially fighting out of New Hampshire, has lived in North Attleboro, and now lives in Lincoln, Rhode Island. Manfredo Jr. wearing the tiger print trunks, Rich Gingras wearing the solid black trunks. Manfredo riding a 2-fight winning streak following a world title loss to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in 2011. Gingras is coming off a draw against Vladimir Biasi in a fight that many people felt he was able to eke out and win.
And Rich is actually coming out with a good game plan right now, coming right at Manfredo, maybe trying to take him out of his game, put him with some nice body shots there on the ropes. And as Rich has moved throughout New England, he's also going down in weight classes with each place he moved to. I think he started as a cruiserweight.
Yeah, Rich Gingras started up north geographically and in weight. Started his career as a cruiserweight, ultimately moved his way down to the light heavyweight division, and tonight is fighting at super middleweight against Peter Manfredo Jr.
And really, he's coming out really strong right here in the first round. I think he's trying to test Manfredo's chin, maybe test his conditioning, and he's getting off with some really good shots. I mean, Peter hasn't yet to get going yet, and we'll see what happens when Peter starts boxing. But Rich definitely came out strong right there in the first round.
Manfredo told me earlier today that he has sparred Gingras before, and it was years ago in what Manfredo Jr. refers to as his heyday. Nice left hand by Rich Gingras. Manfredo Jr., a popular attraction fighting the New England circuit. Not a full-time boxer, however. Took this week off in preparation for this fight, but is a full-time laborer who trains in the evening.
And really, with all the glitz and glamour, a lot of the fighters that you see even on Showtime and HBO, a lot of those guys also have other jobs. It's very hard. You're only fighting 3-4 times a year unless you're making millions of dollars every time you fight. It's going to be very hard to support and feed your family, which Peter has to worry about.
For every Pacquiao and Manfredo there is, or excuse me, Pacquiao and Mayweather there is, there's 1,000 guys out there, some of whom are world champions who still hold down day jobs.
For sure.
Well, Rich Gingras has been pressing the action here in round 1. Manfredo Jr. being forced to pick his spots a little bit. This is not something that Manfredo Jr. is not accustomed to. As I recall, Joey Spina pressed the action against Manfredo years ago in that All Rhode Island showdown held at the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
Yeah, I mean, as good as a boxer as Peter is, and he could be outboxing a lot of guys, he likes to stand and trade.
And Manfredo snuck in a nice right uppercut, and you hear the crowd oohing and ahhing with every punch. A good thing about an all-New England showdown at a New England venue like Twin River is that people here have a rooting interest in each fighter.
Oh, definitely. The arena's sold out. Both guys have a great contingent of fans. And so far this first round, they put on a great show. Great, really nice right hand that clipped Gingras on the way in right there. That right hand definitely stunned him. I think he got lucky that the bell ended that round.
And you can see the crowd erupt before you here at the Twin River Event Center in Lincoln, Rhode Island. Manfredo Jr. smiling between round 1 and round 2 as he's receiving instructions from his trainer, Steve Mays, and Vaseline is being applied to his face by cutman Dave Keefe.
And I didn't hear everything he said, but I think Steve is telling him, look, stay off the ropes and box this guy. But, you know, Peter's a warrior, and Peter wants to go out there and bang. And I think the smile on Peter's face indicates that he had a lot of fun that round.
Manfredo Jr. told me earlier today, this is a fight. There's no easy fights at this stage of the game.
No, I mean, you're in the main event. It's a 10-round fight. They're not going to let you fight just anybody with that kind of record. And look, at this point in his career, everyone is coming, has nothing to lose but everything to gain by beating him. So Peter has to be at the top of his game every time out.
It's been over 3 years since Manfredo Jr. was able to score a knockout. That came in a fight here at the Twin River Casino against John Barrio, a Colombian fighter.
That was a nice win, too, because Barrio could really fight. Barrio was a big puncher, and Peter took him out. If I recall, Peter had a pretty easy time with that fight.
Every time I see a Colombian fighter I've never heard of, I always get worried because they seemingly always can punch, if nothing else.
That's definitely one thing they can do. And a lot of guys from the Dominican Republic, it's the same thing. You might not hear of them, but those guys can crack. I don't know what it is down there, but they definitely can crack.
This is a scheduled 10-rounder in the super middleweight division. Manfredo wearing the tiger print trunks with Boletto across the front in honor of his friend Gary Boletto, who suffered an accident and is now confined to a wheelchair. Gary Boletto accrued fame participating in season 2 of the Contender TV series. One thing we have not mentioned yet in this broadcast is that both Manfredo and Gingras made names for themselves on the Contender series. Manfredo in season 1 as a middleweight, Gingras in season 4 as a cruiserweight.
Which I think was the last season ever of the Contender in America. They actually have the Contender in other countries. I know they show it in Jamaica and they have it in a couple other countries where they run their own Contender.
Which is unfortunate it no longer exists because it was a great thing for boxing. Started off on network TV on NBC, then moved to ESPN, a major cable sports network for seasons 2 and 3. Season 4 was on the now defunct Versus network. And I think a lot of people honestly had a hard time finding that channel on their cable system.
Yeah, most definitely. And actually, it's the disappointing thing is NBC really didn't give it a chance, I don't think. They kept switching the days, and you didn't know what night it was going to be on, and that really messed it up. And that was a great show. That first season was tremendous, and I think it could have been a long-standing reality show on TV had they given it a proper chance.
Nice left hand from Manfredo moments ago.
Peter's finding his rhythm now a little bit, settling in. Nice uppercut on the inside. It's going to come down now where you're going to see that the difference in experience. I mean, even the combinations and the punches, Peter just has a little bit more in his arsenal. Nice left hook right there.
And that left hook has found a home here in round 2 for Peter Manfredo.
Gingras still game though. He got him in a nice uppercut. He's still right in there.
Good fight heating up here at the Twin River Event Center in Lincoln, Rhode Island. As Orlando Valles, trainer for Rich Gingras, enters the corner to give him instructions.
He's not happy with what Gingras is doing right now at all.
He is animated.
I know Orlando and Jose Santos worked with him a lot. His cut mania, Chuck Sullivan, has been around boxing in the New England area for many, many, many years.
Orlando Valles first achieved notoriety for working with Vladimir Biasi here in New England. Also works with hard-punching cruiserweight Josh Harris, as we see that left hook from Manfredo find its home on Rich Gingras, and Gingras acknowledged that he got nailed.
Yeah, that was a nice sneaky left hook that caught him on the way in.
When Manfredo has been in these big all-New England showdowns in the past, round 3 has been a big round for him. He stopped Scott Pemberton and Joey the KO Kid Spina, both Rhode Island fighters, consecutively in the 3rd round. Let's see if he can make it 3 for 3 against Rich Gingras tonight as we begin the 3rd round.
And it looks like he's trying. He came out blazing this round.
Nice uppercut from Manfredo. That left hook again for Manfredo, finding a home.
He's getting really sneaky too. As soon as Gingras comes in, he clips him with that left hook. It's really nice. If he brings that right hand after that left hook, he might be able to get that 3rd round knockout.
Chants of Peter, Peter began to permeate throughout the venue. However, there's still a significant amount of red shirts in the crowd, which signify an allegiance to Rich Gingras. Those red shirts purchased at the gym he owns, Fight to Fitness.
I think to me, I don't know if it's just a testament of Peter or if Gingras is tired now, but every round so far, Peter seems to be getting stronger and sharper. And this is a very dangerous fight for Peter because really he's expected to win, he's expected to look a certain way, and really not much is expected of Gingras besides from his people, you know what I mean?
And let's be truthful, in Gingras' most recent fight against Biasi, he was not expected to win that fight.
No.
And while he did not, he fought to a draw. Many people felt that he deserved the win, and initially it was announced the winner until the scorecards were recalculated and it was announced that it was a draw.
Oh, Peter
nice
got hurt
right hand
fight.
by Gingras, and Manfredo finds himself in some trouble. This unexpected.
Very unexpected right there. And Peter does not want to hold on. He's a warrior, but he's got to grab him up, hold him up, grab those arms, tie him up, and get a little breather here. This is a war right here.
Manfredo facing a lot of adversity here in round 3 against Rich Gingras. Let's see how he responds. You said prior to this fight that Rich Gingras should and probably was treating this fight like a world title fight.
Well, he had everything to gain in this fight and nothing to lose. So at that point, you got to train like this is the one.
And round 3 comes to a conclusion, and a surge of momentum for Gingras.
In a round that Peter was controlling, he got clipped with that right hand, and boom, that changed everything.
And there is that right hand that you alluded to. Rich Gingras knows that a win over Peter Manfredo Jr. could pay dividends in his career.
Well, and one thing that maybe not all the viewers here understand is Peter Manfredo has a very good chin. He's only been stopped by top best guys. So that's a testament to Rich Gingras' preparation and the shot that he caught him with and his power.
The only 3 fighters to stop Peter Manfredo: Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in a world title fight for the WBC middleweight
and to be honest,
championship.
that was a questionable stoppage in my eyes.
I agreed with the stoppage. The one I did not agree with was when he got stopped by Joe Calzaghe. The most legitimate of 3 stoppages was against Sakio Bika.
Yep.
Sakio Bika was landing punches that Manfredo was catching on the gloves and knocking him backwards. He was just
too strong,
too big and too strong.
Even when you looked at them in the ring, he just looked like twice the size of him. Yeah, Calzaghe, if I recall, only a quarter of those punches landed. Nice uppercut that Peter caught him with right there. So far, I don't see too much ill effects from that punch in this round. What I'm surprised about a little bit here is Peter has decided not to box at all, and that left hook stunned Peter right there. I don't think anyone noticed it. That left hook stunned him going backwards. He's chosen to go to war with him from the opening bell. He hasn't chose to box him at all. And through his career, I believe Gingras has had most troubles with guys that move and box.
And we mentioned the Sakio Bika fight moments ago. If you recall what, in retrospect, appears to be a colossal strategic error, was that Manfredo decided to stand and trade with Bika as opposed to try and box when Bika was the bigger man. Gingras, probably not as strong as Bika, but has fought as high as the cruiserweight division. He's been in there with much bigger fighters. He sucks down to super middleweight, whereas Manfredo began his career early on as a junior middleweight.
Right, yeah, definitely. Physically, Gingras is a naturally bigger fighter than Peter. But you gotta love this. Peter just ate some big shots and boom, he's coming right back at him. This is a fight that fans that are in the arena are gonna be happy they paid to get a ticket tonight. And Gingras is cut over his right eye, or on the side of his right eye right now. I don't believe that they called it from a headbutt. We're gonna have to wait for Joey Lupino to let us know.
And maybe we'll see a replay in between rounds which can indicate where that cut came from. As
Peter has been finding a home for that left hook, which definitely could have caused that cut.
And that cut is clearly having an ill effect on Rich Gingras as he's pawed at it at least twice in this round.
Well, the area where it is, it's going to go right into his eye. And the cut man's going to have to get to work on that. Chucky Sullivan's an excellent cut man, so I'm sure he'll be able to handle that, but it definitely needs to be worked on right now. Nice lead right hand by Peter. You know, you like to see him get on the wheels and just move a little bit and box. It looked like he was going to start doing it right there, and then right back into that telephone booth.
Neither one of these guys is here simply for the paycheck. Pride is on the line. Round 4 concludes between Peter Manfredo and Rich Gingras. We've got 6 more rounds to go.
And it's been a great, and it's a close, and it's a good fight so far.
Oh, give me the ice. Yep. Just a little slip. That's all it is. Come on, baby.
I think for Manfredo supporters here right now, they're in a little bit of shock. I don't think they expected this to be this tight of a contest. I don't think they expected Peter to get rocked. For the Gingras people, I'm sure they're like, this is exactly how we thought it would go.
And if you're a Rich Gingras fan, one thing that's unique about tonight as opposed to when he normally fights at Twin River Casino is that more people are rooting against him than rooting for him.
Yeah, for sure, and that's definitely got to be a different position to be in. Although it still benefits him to have the crowd. He's in an arena where he's comfortable. It's not like he's going into enemy territory here.
But normally those folks wearing the red Fight to Fitness shirts make more noise than anyone during a Rich Gingras fight. Tonight they're
there, but they're in the
outmanned
minority.
about 4-1.
Yep, that's for sure.
Joey Lupino warning Rich Gingras about using the forearm against Manfredo. Earlier, he warned about use of the elbow.
And I heard no mention from Lupino about it being a headbutt, so that cut was caused by a cut. So if we saw a stoppage in this fight tonight, it would be a TKO victory for Peter Manfredo if the stoppage was due to the cut.
Did you see any signal from Joey Lupino as to whether it was a punch or a butt?
I didn't see that, and I didn't see him go to the judges and say anything. I mean, I could be wrong, but I didn't see that notification. If it was caused by a butt, then after 4 rounds, I think we would go to the scorecards and see. But if it was caused by a punch, then this fight would end in a TKO win for Peter Manfredo.
That left hand from Manfredo was found at home once again here in round 5. Tries to sneak in that right uppercut as well.
Nice straight right hand there, lead by Peter Manfredo.
At times when stepping up in his career, Rich Gingras has fared well. Lost a competitive decision on the Contender Season 4 Contender Finale undercard against Ryan Coyne, who would later go on to be a top 10 light heavyweight contender. There's been other times where Gingras has fought inferior opposition and fought down to their level and paid the price for it.
I believe his first loss came against the guy down in the Maryland area that most thought he would win. Peter got stunned a little bit by that right hand.
Manfredo channeling a little Vinny Paz, holding the top rope with his right hand for a moment. The midway point of this fight, and it is a fight.
It's a war in there. They're throwing a lot of leather. If we had to punch stat numbers, we'd be seeing some high numbers right now. What's surprising to me, though, is that even after getting hurt, I don't know if maybe he's just on the condition or if he doesn't want to, but after getting hurt, I would have thought Peter would start imposing a little bit more of his boxing ability, and he has chose not to. He's chose to go right to war. I haven't seen him step outside, try and use the jab, move around, give angles. He's right in the middle of that, in a telephone booth, basically. They've been fighting a war the whole fight.
And we are getting word that the cut above the eye of Rich Gingras was ruled an unintentional headbutt. So, if this fight does conclude as a result of that cut, we'll go to the scorecards.
And at this point, I seem to have them alternating rounds. Gingras will win a round, Peter win a round, Gingras, Peter, Gingras, Peter. So, you know, you don't want to leave it up to the cards at this point if you're either man. But Chucky Sullivan has done a really good job in that cut. That cut didn't play a factor in that last round in any way whatsoever. Nice overhand right there. That was very Vinny Paz-esque.
Manfredo channeling his inner Paz in more ways than one.
And that would be called the Melvin. That's the name of the punch that Vinny had. Reference to his knockout of Melvin Paul. Nice left hook right there. And that definitely stunned Gingras. I would think that Peter want to follow up on that right now.
And one problem I think that Rich Gingras is having is I think a cut has opened up over his other eye.
And I didn't see any head clashes there, just punching.
Round 6, blood flowing over both eyes of Rich Gingras. Peter Manfredo Jr. is going to work. He smells the blood, he sees it.
And now this is the veteran Peter Manfredo right here. You see that, he sees the blood, he's on attack mode, mixing to the body, to the head.
And you never know when their heads do graze up against one another as they just were. That could be where the cut came from. Nevertheless, a right hand from Manfredo. In between rounds, we'll see if Joey Lupino can get us word on what he rules caused the second cut on Rich Gingras.
And that second cut is actually seemed a lot worse than the first cut.
Well, if they're alternating rounds in your scorecard, Teddy, that means Gingras had round 5 and Manfredo clearly had round 6.
Clearly.
As we take a look at that cut on Rich Gingras, which will be tended to in between rounds 6 and 7. That is a bad cut above the left eye of Gingras.
Well, you know what? He's got an experienced cutman in there. Chucky Sullivan was responsible for stopping a lot of cuts on Gary Boletto back in the day. And let's see if we have any clip of this or what caused that cut.
No indication there as to what caused the cut.
Nope. They're going to probably send him back to the corner to wipe some of that off, I'm guessing.
And
that's a big cut,
a long time for Gingras to get off the stool as they took every second possible and maybe then some to tend to that cut. And we have a doctor in the ring.
Okay, no, I think Joey Lupino didn't get the decision of the doctor if the eye was okay, and he just wanted to double check. Big right hand, right off the bat. Peter's going for blood right here, and that's what he needs to do.
Nice.
At this
right
point, you don't
uppercut
know
from
what the
Manfredo.
judges have seen, so you don't want to leave it in their hands.
Another nice right uppercut from Manfredo.
Crowd trying to elevate Peter right now. Nice body shot by Peter right there. That left hook to the body opened up those two headshots. And that's what the professional, the veteran, knows. Never leave that body. Chop him down like a tree.
Manfredo in round 7 landing with both quality and quantity at this point.
Peter's really doubling up that left hook to the body, to the head really nicely right now. Win, lose, or draw, though, Gingras has put up a very, very good fight.
I think much better than many people in attendance anticipated.
Nice lead left hook right there from Peter.
And while Manfredo clearly winning round 7, that cut is holding up on Rich Gingras.
Yeah, they did a great job in the corner on that cut. I really thought that was going to be a more of an issue than it's been, especially in the original cut as well. Good work by Chuck Sullivan in the corner. At this point, Gingras' only shot to come back here is if he gets the proverbial second wind in the corner, because not only is he taking a lot of shots, he's bleeding over both eyes, he's also looks like he's getting winded, he's getting a little tired down the stretch right now. I don't think that's a testament to his training. I think that's more, just experience, and he doesn't have the same experience going these later rounds at this tough of a fight as Peter has.
See if we can listen into the corner of Gingras.
If it stops because of the cut, it's intentional headbutt, right?
Yeah, it's unintentional headbutt. But if I stop it, it's stopping because,
He's stopping it because of the cut.
Jose, man.
He was taking it too.
Yeah, but bro, come on, man.
Let's go.
And the corner of Gingras wanted to verify with the officials that if this fight is stopped due to either one of those cuts, it's an unintentional headbutt and would go to the scorecards.
Yeah, I don't know if they realize it'll go to the scorecards or if they think that it's going to be a draw. I'm not sure, but at this point, 7 rounds in, it's going to go to the scorecards. And on my scorecard, Peter would be edging him out.
I have Manfredo ahead as well, but this fight has been competitive.
And really, the cut, it's bad, it looks bad, but it's not affecting the actual fight. The blood, I don't think is really going into his eye. It's not hampering his vision. Nice lead right hand there from Peter. Peter might be a little winded himself right now. They fought at a very, very fast pace. Nice lead right hand, and Gingras is ready to go now.
And Joey Lupino's going to step in and stop it as Gingras is wobbling all over the place.
That's a great stoppage. Great stoppage from Joey Lupino. He saw something in his eyes that none of us could see, and that was a great stoppage right there.
Peter Manfredo Jr. with an 8th round TKO over a tough Rich Gingras, who put up a valiant effort tonight at the Twin River Casino.
Unbelievable effort. That was a great fight. Tremendous fight for these fans. I don't think anyone in the arena could have asked for more.
And there are times when a guy gets stopped standing on his feet where people are quick to say that was a premature stoppage. Not whatsoever in this case. Gingras was wobbling and continued wobbling back to the ropes and into a corner.
I think Lupino did a great job. I think he saw the punishment he took in the 6th and 7th round, the cuts, and he just knew that it was time to go.
Here is the replay of the TKO. Right uppercut followed by a left hook, and I think he might have even been stunned before that as Lupino steps in to stop it. And Lupino here holding the wrong guy as Gingras is the one needing his support, falling backwards. That right uppercut is probably what really did it.
I think it started with either a left hook or a right hand that came like a few seconds before that clip. He was already stunned, and that just was the final nail in the coffin. And you could see it was a great stoppage. I mean, he was going to end up getting knocked out badly. That saved him from getting knocked out. But you can't fault. That was a great effort on his behalf. A tremendous effort. I think he definitely fought a lot harder and did a lot better performance than a lot of people thought he was going to give.
Well, we'll get the official time of the stoppage momentarily from our ring announcer, Rick Provost. But first, Ted, what does this win do for the career of Peter Manfredo?
I mean, it keeps it going. It's a solid win over a tough guy, but it all depends on what Peter wants to do. Peter said that it's his last fight. I hope not, because I think there's a lot of fight left in Peter still. He ran out of the ring. I was wondering what was wrong, but he actually ran out of the ring to be with his friend Gary Boletto, whom he fought this fight for. And he fought this fight very Gary Boletto-esque.
Contrary to what this win does for Manfredo, what does this performance do for Rich Gingras?
Well, to me, this elevates him. He's already at well, let's wait and see what they have to say in the ring right now, and then we'll go back to that.
At 1 minute and 33 seconds of the 8th round, referee Joey Lupino stops the bout, and your winner by technical knockout, the pride of Providence, Peter Manfredo Jr.
Manfredo Jr. with the TKO in the 8th round of Rich Gingras, 1 minute and 33 seconds into the round. Gingras, though, with a good performance tonight. This keeps him in the mix.
Definitely. Well, I think his performance tonight does is you look at there's a lot of super middleweights around the same level, around the same record. You have Biasi, who he just fought. There's Joey McCready in Boston. And after this performance against this higher level of a fighter, you have to consider Gingras as the top echelon of those other super middleweights in New England.
And considering the controversial outcome of his fight with Biasi when they fought to a draw, I think a lot of New England fight fans would like to see that rematch.
I think they'd love to see that rematch.
Perhaps.
Although it's going to be a little time now because those cuts have to heal.
As we take a look at more replays of the conclusion of this fight between Peter Manfredo and Rich Gingras, more of the sequence of punches which led to the stoppage of Gingras we see from that particular angle, and you can see that Manfredo just had him out on his feet.
Yeah, it was a straight right hand, I believe, lead that started everything off, and he was out on his feet.
Well, with the win tonight, Peter Manfredo Jr. picks up win at number 40. His record is now 40 wins, 7 losses, 21 of his 40 wins coming by way of knockout. Rich Gingras falls to 13 wins with 4 losses and 1 draw, but somewhat wins in defeat in the eyes of many fans, as that was a valiant, gutsy, and hard-fought performance. Ted, any final words for our viewers before we sign off?
I'd just like to say thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back in February with another great night of fights. Hats off to both Rich Gingras and Peter Manfredo Jr.
For everyone at Jimmy Birchfield's Classic Entertainment and Sports, the Fight Stream crew, my broadcast partner Ted Panangiardis, I am Peter Zimbor. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time at the fights.